Hey there, so to all two of you who are currently subscribed to this channel, I will be taking a short hiatus for medical reasons. That's why this video is shorter and very low budget. This week's video was meant to be another long form analysis slash retrospective, but there likely won't be any uploads for a while as I recover. Thanks for understanding. So Nintendo recently had their E3 showing on Tuesday, and it felt as if it were perfectly tailored to my tastes. It was paced excellently from the time between megatons to the time spent on lower tier announcements. It was a lesson to the industry on how to pace a show well. Whereas so many other companies exhibited a stunning inability to read the room, Nintendo made it look like child's play. If I were to grade this show, it would be an A. Not quite A+, but certainly not a B. The consistency was truly remarkable. When Nintendo opened the show by saying they wanted a little something for everyone, I was like, yeah, alright, sure pal. But fulfill that promise they did. Without further ado, here are Nintendo's E3 announcements and reveals ranked. Worms Rumble. This is going to sound harsh, but I can count the number of people who care about this with the fingers of one hand. One hand that was the victim of chronic hypothermia and now has lost 4 fingers, with the sole survivor being a thumb. Just Dance. No, I'm not 6. Dragon Ball. I'm too stubborn to get into anime. Life is Strange. This is at the bottom of the list because I genuinely am completely apathetic to this franchise. I don't hate it or love it. I've never exhibited any intent to get into it. Just don't really care that much. If you're into it, I'm happy for you, but I don't intend on getting into this series as its ending was spoiled for me years ago. Doom Eternal. Impressive that this game was ported to what is an underpowered tablet, but I don't believe the sacrifices made were worth it. Kudos to the developers, they are exceptionally talented folks, and even more kudos to the people who ported it. I, however, am lucky enough to have a workstation computer that, should I so wish, could take advantage of a $1 Game Pass subscription and could play the game that way. Not for me, or really for anyone who has a viable alternative way to play this game. Tony Hawk 1 and 2. This game is a perfect fit for Switch, but the visuals are somewhat worrying. The shading on the character models is off, which is a shame seeing as the game is perfect for a commute, to play in bed or to keep your thumbs busy as you listen to a podcast. Looks rough, but we'll have to wait and see for the full release. Hyrule Warriors Expansion Pass. I genuinely love Age of Calamity. It was an excellent spin-off and an exceptional game, but this expansion pass seems to cater towards those who have not already played and completed the main game, adding in new weapons and characters instead of new story content. Without spoiling anything, the nature of the game's conclusion makes it somewhat difficult to expand on the story, but even so, the contents of this pass disappoint me somewhat. I've already played and loved this entry, but I've had my fill and won't be hopping back in. Zelda Game & Watch. This is cool for people who have the money spare, but I don't. Collectors will eat their heart out, but I'm a more conservative collector in the way that I don't buy things for the sole purpose of adding them to my collection. I pretty much exclusively buy things that I can get my money's worth of, and I just don't have the spare cash to go out and pick up a Game & Watch that will gather dust on my shelf. I recognize that this just isn't meant for me. Danganronpa. I've never played one of these before, but considering the fervor online, it looks like I'll have to get into them. Color me excited to finally try one out. Maiden of Blackwater. Looks intriguing, but I'm unlikely to part ways with money for this one. Not really my cup of tea, but it's higher up on this list because I recognize that this made the show for many people. Super Monkey Ball. I grew up playing Monkey Ball with my siblings, and to see it get the full remaster treatment, well, it's analogous to this skill-up tweet. I am happy, although seeing as I already own these games, I may or may not pass up on this one, depending on my financial situation. Good stuff though. Cruisin' Blast. This was a surprising one. Initially, I was the epitome of meh when it came to this title, but all the excitement has me intrigued. Similarly with Monkey Ball, I would like to pick this one up, but it'll come down to a case of whether I have the spare money and the spare time. Interesting announcement nonetheless. SMT 5. Looks interesting. I've never experienced an entry in this series before, but the visual design is exceptional. The aesthetics are gorgeous and the soundtrack is great. I've had plenty of people recommend me this series, and like with the previous two, if I have the required time and money, I would love to try it. However, chances are I won't, and my stubbornness in not getting into anime because of its outwardly frustrating tropes will likely play a part in that. I'll fully admit that that is a me problem. This looks great. WarioWare. I've never actually played a WarioWare before, so I'm excited to finally find out what the fuss is about. Should be a good time all around, and I'm very happy for all the people eagerly anticipating its release. Advance Wars. For a game I've been aware of for the longest time and never tried, it is telling that it is so high up on this list. I am ecstatic for all the people who've been waiting years and years for the tiniest tidbit of Advance Wars news. Excellent reveal, and fair play to Nintendo for doing right by the fans. Mario plus Rabbids. This is going to sound bizarre, but I've owned this since 2017 and have only ever played the multiplayer with friends and family locally. It's a bizarre mix between Mario Party and chess, and it's just a good time all around. Not sure how interested I'll be in the campaign, but if it has another stellar multiplayer mode, I will be more than tempted to pick it up. Very strong announcement. Well done to Davide Soliani and his team of passionate devs for cooking up what looks like a fun, exciting, adventurous romp. Skyward Sword HD. Skyward Sword was the first Legend of Zelda I ever played, but is, funnily enough, one of the only titles in the series I never saw out to the end. Not for the reason many would have you believe, however, it was completely unrelated to the game's quality, and more so connected to my acumen. I never really got the hang of the controls as a young'un, so consider me excited to finally try it out again in its definitive form come July. Excellent showing. Kazuya. I'm quite the fan of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. It's an excellent game with just the right blend of competitive... Wait, how the f*** do you pronounce It's an excellent game with just the right blend of competitive... What the fuck? It's an excellent game with just the right blend of competitivity... It's an excellent game with just the right blend of competitivity and casual fun. There we go. I've spent countless hours competing against friends and family online and locally. It is without a doubt an all-time great for me, so it should come as no surprise that despite not even knowing who Kazuya is, I am very excited to give his moveset a go. Smash Bros. Is an exceptional sandbox, crafted so perfectly that they could throw in a literal walking shit into its jungle gym of mechanics and I'd have fun with it. Plainly, it just looks like great fun. Mario Party. Oh man, this is everything I've ever wanted from Mario Party. Mario Party is one of my favourite Nintendo franchises, and this genuinely looks like it could be the best entry in the series. The visuals are absolutely drop-dead gorgeous, the boards are magnificent, and the minigame selection looks to be perfection. And it fully supports online. This looks like it's going to be an all-timer, beyond excellent. Breath of the Wild 2. It should say something about the sheer quality of this direct that I had 3 negatives to get out of the way first. That what looks like the best entry in one of my favourite series barely cracked top 3, and that the sequel to one of the best games of all time is only at number 2. It was a truly stellar direct, as was this reveal. Oh, what is there to say that hasn't already been said? There are good announcements, great announcements, amazing announcements, and then there are the brain-exploding announcements. This was one of those. It looks perfect, exceptional, generational. It looks like everything the first was and so much more. It appears that there are 2 playable characters judging from the trailer. My guess is that they are linked from 2 separate eras, an ancient hero of time and the modern day hero. The soundtrack is sounding like it's going to knock its older sibling's soundtrack out of the stadium, and its visuals look like the creation of a team no longer shackled by the Wii U. F***ing excellent. The clock is officially ticking down to its release date. Metroid Dread. There are just so many levels as to why this is so amazing. First of all, everybody presumed the series was dead. It isn't. Second of all, nobody thought they would ever continue the story of the Metroid series in a hypothetical Metroid 5. They did. Thirdly, Project Dread was assumed to be dead. It wasn't. And finally, it's coming out in a few short months. How could one possibly knock it further out of the park? It's fair to say that Nintendo hit the ball out of the f***ing stratosphere. This Direct was remarkable. Long may this good form continue, although history would have us believe that Nintendo's next move will surprise us all the more. Second, we think Nintendo are in touch with their audience and are finally fulfilling their potential. They'll shut everything down and open, I don't know, a chicken shop or some shit. Thanks for watching.